Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be unboxing Rogue for Marvel Champions. So Rogue is just released in the UK alongside Gambit. We've done an unboxing for Gambit and you can find it somewhere on the page if you want to check that out. But otherwise, let's take a look at what we get inside the Rogue box for Marvel Champions. So the first thing, we always get the artwork poster, which I really like, full artwork poster. And then we've got the instruction page. I don't really know what else to describe this as, but we've got the different keywords that we'll see in it. And in this one, it's just we've got some clarification and FAQ already. Probably save a lot of questions from being asked on Facebook page or on forums or things like that. And then we've got the people that we can credit it for. So thank you very much to your name if you're mentioned there. But let's actually leave that out. Okay, so let's have a look at Rogue. So we'll start with the hero identity card herself. So we've got Anna Marie, so alter ego. She's a 3 recovery, 6 hand size, 11 hit points. And then part of her setup is you set your touched upgrade aside. And then her force response is after you change this form, set touched aside. So we'll see what touched is when we get into her identity specific cards. And then her other side, we've got Rogue. So she's a 2/2/2 with a hand size drops to 5. She's just got the X-Men trait. So on this side, it's just mutant. And on this side, she's just the X-Men. And then she's got skin contact action. Attached touched to another character. You gain each of the attached character's traits until the end of the round. And then after the player phase begins, find touched and set it aside. So there is a bit of, you can look at the pack here. We've got what does it mean to find touched? Where is it here? So when you're instructed to find a card, search each game area where that could be found, etc. So basically at the start of it, you just grab it, and at the end of it, you just grab it, is my understanding of it. So we've got touched. So touched is a condition. So if touched is attached to a minion, Rogue's attacks gain overkill, a villain, Rogue gains retaliate 1, an ally, Rogue gains aerial, or a hero, Rogue gains stalwart. So really nice that you can attach that to whoever you want, and then you get those traits. So I've seen loads of theory crafting online of cool things you could do that, you know, Rogue is now an Avenger, or Rogue is now a Guardian of the Galaxy, or a hero, or an outlaw, or anything like that. So loads of different options for her to be used with that, and we'll see how else touch can affect her cards as we go. But then we've got Rogue's signature ally, which is Gambit. So what I like about this is that the artwork is different to the Gambit that comes in the Gambit hero pack here. I like the fact that it is a bit different. So 3 cost, a 2/2 with 3 attack. After Gambit enters play, he gets 3 charge counters on him. And then when Gambit attacks, remove a charge counter to deal 1 damage to an enemy. So a really nice way to ping off things like tough from allies, or just do 1 damage to. Doesn't say you have to do it to the enemy you're attacking, so potentially 1 damage to a completely different enemy to maybe kill them, which is quite nice. Then we've got Rogue's Jacket, so there's a 1 cost upgrade. While touch is attached to a friendly character, Rogue gains +1 thought. While it's attached to an enemy character, Rogue gains +1 attack. So you probably want to think about who touch is going on based on if you've got that in play. Do you want more thought? Do you want more attack? Anything like that for a turn. We then get 3 copies of Going Rogue. So hero action, remove 3 threat from a scheme. And then if Rogue has aerial, it removes an additional 2 threat. Retaliate, she confuses an enemy. Or stalwart, she can draw a card. And obviously she's going to get those traits from whoever touch is on. So for her to get aerial, the touch has to be on her ally, which is quite nice. So nice little way of thinking about who you're actually going to put touch on and just not put it on anyone sort of for the sake of it, which is quite nice. So 3 copies of Going Rogue. Then we get 3 copies of Sudden Cross, which is a 3 attack. So it deals 6 damage to an enemy. And then if Rogue has aerial, it's an additional 2. Retaliate, she stuns them. Or Stalwart, she draws a card. So really nice. Really nice there. Then we've got 2 copies of Energy Transfer. So attach touched to another character other than Rogue and deal 2 damage to that character. Heal 2 damage from Rogue and ready her. And you gain each of the attached character traits until the end of the round. So obviously moving touched, which is a action, is a limit 1 per round thing, but you could move touched onto someone, get an action, play energy transfer, move touched onto someone else, which is quite nice. It heals damage and deals damage, which is always quite nice. So there's 2 copies of that one as well. 2 copies of Bulletproof Bell. So when an enemy with touched attached to its attack, prevent all damage from the attack and gains a tough status card. So that's awesome in my opinion. 1 costs 2 copies of it. You're putting touched on the hero, on the villain. The villain comes to attack you. Cool, not only are you not doing anything for me, I'm going to get tough, so I'm going to be absolutely fine again next turn. Which is really nice. And then her last identity-specific character is Superpower Adaptation. So she gets 3 copies of this. If touch is attached to a friendly character, search its owner's discard pile for an event that belongs to the same classification of that character, i.e. identity-specific, aspect, or basic, and add that event to your hand. So cool. I want that. I don't know. Captain America event, whatever it could be. Touches on Captain America. I'm going to search your discard pile and I'm going to have that event and add it to my hand, which is quite nice. So that is the 16 specific cards that come with Rogue specifically. Whilst we've got these all out, let's have a quick look at her encounter set and obligation. So we've got Deadly Touch is her obligation. So if touch is attached to a friendly character, deal 2 damage to that character. And if it's not attached to a friendly character, place 2 threat on the main scheme. So could accidentally be killing in some circumstances your allies, fellow heroes, things like that, which is really cool and really thematic. If it's not, put 2 threat on the main scheme. Interesting one about that is that always gets discarded. There's no removal from play, so that one stays around. Let's put that there. And then we've got her Nemesis minion, Mystique. So 1 scheme, 1 attack, but 6 health. She's got toughness and villainous. And she's got after Mystique engages with you, search the encounter deck, discard pile and set aside area for a copy of Misled Treachery and shuffle it into your deck. So, Misled Treachery, I'm going to assume is not very nice. But before we get there, we've got Mystique's Manipulations. So it's a 2 threat side scheme per person with a acceleration token. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of Misled Treachery and shuffle it into your deck when defeated. And then we've got 3 copies of the Misled Treachery. So this says, when revealed, shuffle this card into your deck. This card gains Surge. And a force response, after this card enters your hand, place 2 threat on the main scheme. So, yeah. Not probably the worst thing in the world. It's just 2 threats going on the main scheme. Nothing too crazy, but is another card that you've got in your deck and is going to take up some of that valuable hand space you've got. And then the last card is just the standard stop. This is Rogue's deck. So, that's a look at the 16 cards and Rogue's Nemesis set. So, let's have a look at what we get from the rest of Rogue. So, Rogue is a protection deck that she comes with. She's got 3 allies that we're going to start off looking at. So, we've got Iceman, Bobby Drake, probably my second favourite X-Men behind Gambit, if you want to call Gambit an actual X-Men. Can't wait to get Hero Pack 4. So, let's look at what else we get. So, Rogue is coming with a protection deck and a pre-built Hero Pack. Let's look at the first cards. So her allies that she comes with, we've got Iceman first of all, Bobby Drake, probably my second favourite X-Man behind Gambit, although there's probably some question marks about if you call Gambit an X-Man. But he is a 3 cost, 1 thought, 2 attack, 3 health. Iceman enters play with 3 freeze counters on him. And after a minion enters play, remove a freeze counter from Iceman and stun that minion. So can affect any minion, elites as well, so nice way to get sort of 1 turn of a bit of respite to go, right, let's work out how we're going to deal with this person. We then get Karma. So Karma is 4 cost, 0 attack, 0 thought, 1 health. Interesting. This must be quite good. Let's see what her response is. So after you play Karma from your hand, choose a non-elite minion. While Karma is in play, take control of that minion and treat it as a controlled ally with a blank text box. Its thought is equal to its printed scheme, and it takes 2 consequential damage after it thoughts or attack. So, you got a big old minion that you want to get on your side of the field. Karma's the person to look after it. And then the last one is Armor. So 2 cost, 1 thought, 1 attack, 2 health. She's got toughness on her, basically. So I think she's probably going to be really good. Just from she costs 2, so she's coming into play. She's probably going to eat some damage with the toughness. She'll do 1 attack or 1 thought, and then she's probably just going to block. So she's going to prevent at least up to 2 attacks from getting through to you. So that's quite nice. So they're the allies that come with it. And then we've got 3 copies of Unflappable. Nice cool Cyclops artwork on there. So after you defend against an attack and take no damage, exhaust Unflappable to draw a card. Pretty nice. 3 copies of, I'm going to butcher this, Judoka Skill. So 2 cost upgrade. It gets 3 judo counters on. When you defend against an enemy attack, remove a judo counter from here. The enemy gets -2 attack for that attack. So quite nice. So you're hopefully taking as little damage as possible. Preemptive Strike. So we've just got some alternate artwork on this one. So when a boost card is turned face up, when a villain attacks, cancel all the boost cards on the icon. Cancel all boost icons on the card. Then deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost cancelled this way. 3 copies of Not Today. I love this artwork. This looks cool. It's Armor and Colossus on there. Not Today. So when your hero defends against an attack, it gets +2 defense for the attack. If you take no damage from an attack, remove 2 threat from a scheme. And then 2 copies of Defensive Energy, so the resource card. When you spend this card to play a defense event, draw a card. So they are the protection cards that come with the Rogue deck. We've also got some basic cards. So we've got Moira McTaggart. I think she's pretty awesome in my opinion if you're playing a mutant deck. So play if you've got the mutant trait. After a mutant alter ego changes into hero form, exhaust Moira McTaggart, that hero's controller draws a card. So you're flipping up, you're drawing a card from it as well. Then we've got 3 copies of the X Gene. So play if you've got the mutant trait, 1 per player. Exhaust X Gene, generate a wild resource for an identity specific event. Love it. I think that's going to be that seems like that might be a bit of a staple going forward. We've then got Beauty and the Thief. So this is the Gambit and Rogue team up card. So it costs 2 and it's 4 damage to an enemy and 4 threat from a scheme. So if one of you is playing Rogue and one of you is playing Gambit, it's probably an auto include just because as soon as you get it for 2, that's a lot of stuff you're doing. If you're running maybe just Rogue or just Gambit, you might not take it as much, although it is a great card. You've obviously got to have Rogue, your hero, in play, and also Gambit, her unique ally. Maybe until we see a basic or protection, aggression, Rogue, Gambit card, anything like that, might not see as much play. And then the 3 generic copies of the double resource. So that's the Rogue deck looked at. We've also got another couple of bits in the deck. Let's have a look at what they are now.